Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko. This is their part number 1571A. This happens to be just a 6-inch sample piece of the item. Let's take a closer look at it. So this is what's called an offset saddle threshold, in the sense that the terms saddle, okay, if you use your imagination, it somewhat looks like a saddle, but it's an offset. So meaning the return leg on either side is not the same dimension, and it will allow you to transition over an irregular floor surface. A very appropriate sort of threshold when you have some sort of, just an uneven floor surface is simply what it could be. You could have, in a concrete pour in a condo building, you could have some concrete that's not quite level, and you need to transition that off and down. More commonly, you might have a structure underneath a door opening. You might have a sill that's a sill onto which the door unit has been set. You might need to transition with a threshold, but then come back down to whatever might be below that. And that's where this is used. Not very common, but common enough for us to keep a couple on hand. That's to be sure. So dimensionally, this item, and there is an image down below showing the dimensional properties of this item. It is 6 1/4 overall width. Okay, the overall height is 1 inch. Over here, it's a 1/4 inch, which means it's going to allow us to contend with a 3/4 inch offset floor condition. Okay, so if you have 3/4 inch that you need to transition over, this might be it. Now, this is not handicap compliant. It features too great of a rise for it to be handicap compliant. In terms of the relationship between rise and run, if this was to be handicap compliant, you would need a 1/2 inch rise for every 6 inches in width. So this would be strictly not handicap compliant. Okay, so be mindful of that. Obviously made of aluminum. The A in the part number means mill aluminum. This is just what the item looks like when it comes from the mill, how it's extruded. Different other finishes this is available in. Let's take a look at those now. I have them listed here, so I don't have to go from memory. Okay, in the 1571, first of all, in an aluminum-based material, you can do A for mill aluminum, BSP for black suede powder coat, D for dark bronze, and WSP for white suede powder coat. The black and white suede powder coat is just literally a powder coat paint over the mill aluminum. You can do it in an AK. AK is a Pemko. It's going to be a coarse applied surface to this to substantially reduce the potential for slip. Okay, the threshold's fluted, and the fluting itself does help prevent someone's foot from slipping, but the AK, the Pemko, I believe they call it, will give it a substantially greater resistance to slip. There's one other option here, and that would be this in a solid architectural bronze-based material, so it's no longer aluminum. Some people will call it brass. That's okay. Architectural bronze would be the industry term, I believe, to use for it, and they can do that in a 10BE finish, which is going to be 10BE is going to be a powder-coated oil rub bronze equivalent. No, forgive me. It is not solid architectural bronze. Not at all. Let's back up. It's not made in solid bronze. The finish is 10BE because it's a dark bronze powder coat is what it is. So in powder coating, there's dark bronze, there's black suede powder coat, and white suede powder coat. In just mill, there's A for mill aluminum, there's the Pemko version, and then there's the dark bronze anodized. Forgive me, this is not made in solid bronze. I had needed a moment to work that out in my head. Okay, so this is, again, just a 6-inch sample piece. If this was the genuine article, it would, of course, be 3 feet, 4 feet, 6 feet, whatever it is. It would have a hole drilled and countersunk so many inches away from the end. And speaking of that, screws are included. They'd be in a complementary finish to the finish of the unit that you're doing. Number 10 by 1.5 inches or so. and listed in the site in lots of different lengths. If you have need for a custom length, by all means, let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field the net length that you'd like for us to cut the material back to. The reasoning is, if this was the genuine article, let's say a 3-foot piece and you're going to cut it to 32 inch, or if it was 4 foot and you're going to cut it back to 42 inch, you're going to eliminate one of those countersinks or those dimples. So you'll be stuck with not only cutting it, but then putting another countersink. I would recommend that you simply order the next longest piece or pieces, indicate in the comment field what length you want it to be cut to. Not only will it be cut to that length with a nice clean factory edge, but they'll give you that countersink at the proper distance from the edge of the threshold, and then the proper center to center going down the length of it. It's not really a problem to cut this at all, but you know, the factory's taking them out of 16.5 foot length extrusions, so you know, they're cutting it to something, so might as well just have them cut it to what you want. Another thing that you might use this for, because it's a little bit wider, you might cope this around your, if this was fitting into a doorway, you might cope this around your stop. You might have it run long and then notch it so that this ran long across the face of your hollow metal frame on both sides, let's say, and then your door frame was set inside of here, whatever. So ordering it longer to allow you to fit it within a opening of a frame is certainly common. Letting it run long and then coping it around the bottom of that profile. It would be considered best practice in an exterior door, let's say a 3-foot door, to order a 40-inch threshold and then have a mitered return wing on the outside, covering that up nice on the exterior. Okay. So a typical offset saddle type threshold transitioning uneven floor surfaces. They have another model of this as well, and let's switch to the screen view and take a look at the other model. Alright, so this is the item that we are indeed looking at now. And those other models we're going to pick up from the link here to the manufacturer's page. And while that's loading, you can see our cross-section of the item here. 1-inch height, 3/4 inch offset, 6 1/4 width. They say supplied and pre-drilled with 1024 Phillips flathead machine screws. That's not correct. These are just typical wood screws. I will have that corrected. Okay, so the manufacturer's page. From that manufacturer's page, you'll be able to see not only all of the Pemko products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, but then a link to their full line catalog. And let's click on that and take a closer look. As that loads, we'll then do a find function for 1571, Control F 1571 on our keyboard, and we'll just cycle through until we find it. So here is our item here. The more common unit would certainly be the 157. That is for a 1/2-inch floor offset. The 2727, I don't sell that too often, but the 157 would be the most common, followed by the 1571. Fairly common as well. And once you're in this section of the catalog, well, you're in that section of the catalog, so as you move up and down through the pages, you'll find lots of other options. So when it comes to lots of other options, the name Pemko is thoroughly synonymous with the greatest product diversity available from a single manufacturer when it comes to weather stripping. Simply stated, no one has more profiles than Pemko does, in my opinion. The page, the catalog just goes on and on. So if you are looking to solve a problem, the Pemko catalog is quite helpful because it allows you to see visually many other profiles. And you might find something more appropriate, or you might find pieces that can work together to be suitable to solve the problem. Keep in mind that Pemko can do custom fabrication as well. If you needed to cut and weld, they can do that sort of custom fabrication as well. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Okay, in conclusion, the 1571A, a relatively typical threshold by a company who, again, has a tremendous quantity of material. Pemko's strong suit is indeed how truly vast their product offering is, coupled with exceptional customer service and technical support, whether it be In terms of technical support, they've got a gentleman there who's very responsive when it comes to all things weather stripping related, and to him I say thank you. Pemko has a robust offering as well of sliding door material. That line is supported by a lady in technical support who is literally second to none when it comes to thoroughly possessing an expert level command over sliding door track, hangers, in its nth degree of variations, applications, material types, sizes, configurations, etc. No one that I've ever met knows more about it than this lady does at Pemko. I would suggest that if you have a need for sliding door material, I would look at Pemko, if not for the quality of the product and say the value, etc., but knowing that there's someone at the factory who can thoroughly support the requirements of technical support. Beyond amazing. Any questions on the 1571A, mill aluminum offset saddle threshold, or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.